thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Melissa with 1S, but you can call me Mel, and today I will be showing you my homemade propagation box and also what I have in it. So just to start off, I am going to show you the actual box. I will also insert a picture on the screen just so that you have a better idea because it is quite big. So here we go. So it's just a big clear container. So I'll talk about that in just a second. This is my first time propagating different plants, and I just think it's such a neat idea because you can start from scratch. You can take some cuttings from the plants that you do have and then just make more, and it's free. So it's pretty awesome. And I just like watching it grow and the progress. It's very rewarding to see how, plants just do what they do best, and just with some basic care, they can thrive really well. The propagation box that I made is a clear container that I got from Walmart. The cost can vary depending on what size you decide to buy. So I bought one that's 55 liters. It's clear. It's kind of like that foggy look, so that clear white. And it did have a white cover, but I don't use it because obviously I want more light coming in from the top. So I reused it and I'm using it as a saucer for my peppers that I'm growing out in the balcony. If you didn't watch that video, go check it out. I am growing hot peppers on my balcony and I've put together the garden with what I had. So the lid for this was actually something that I reused, which was awesome. On top, I do have some Glad cling wrap. So it's just like that clear cling wrap that you use in the kitchen. It provides, again, that light to go through, and then also it's flexible so that if you do need to take it off or whatever. And one thing that I did do was add some tape around the edges and in the middle, just so that it's a little bit more sturdy, not as flimsy, just like able to roll it up in a ball. So it just helps with the wrap to stay. And also for the sides, I just used some clear clips in the middle for the longer part of the container so that it just holds, because of course if not, it's just going to flop right into the container. So yeah, so it's pretty easy. Like in total maybe 10-12 bucks, just because it is a bigger container, but you can get a smaller one for less. Find some stuff in your kitchen, some clips, and it's pretty easy. And then throughout the week, just spray the container inside just to continue allowing that humidity level to stay up and providing that moisture in the air. So I have my little container here. I'm going to move on to some of the plants that I have. If I'm squinting, it's because I actually use glasses. I'm not wearing my glasses right now because if not, the reflection. So let me know if you have any solution to that. But right now I'm okay without my glasses. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. So for the first one, I am going to show you a container where I have a few cuttings. I have a pothos that has a very healthy root system. And I'll let you know why I still have that in water, considering it does have long roots. I do have a fiddle leaf fig cutting. I don't know if that's gonna work. I've seen a few people grow roots off of these, so we'll see what happens. And then I have two snake plant cuttings, two different types. I was gonna throw them out. They weren't doing well, so I just tried with the water. I wasn't receiving any type of sign that they were doing well, so I decided to put a piece of pothos in the water, and guess what happened? They gave me roots, so they are still alive. I'm excited to see, what happens now that they have roots. I guess that's a lesson just to share with you, is just when you think that you should throw a piece of a plant out or you're not too sure what's going to happen, just give it a shot. Just give it a shot, see what happens, and you will be surprised with the results. So that's that, and also putting that pothos cutting in, definitely I would highly recommend. This is a mini terracotta pot with 4 different aloe vera pups, and they are thriving. They were not doing well at the beginning, let me tell you that. I was really worried about them because they were skinny and color was not looking good, but here we are. They're definitely looking a lot better. Not only did I put them in the propagation box, but I also kept them a little bit more moist. So I feel that a little bit of water, a little bit of humidity went a long way for these guys. Next I have jade cuttings. So I have 2 water propagating in this little jar. And then I have 2 in soil, and then I have 1 leaf propagation in soil. This plant almost died on me. It was also one that I rescued. It's doing a lot better now. I was a little worried about putting them in water because they're succulents, but I looked it up and it was a method I could use, so it's definitely worked for me. And then these are doing really well in soil, and the leaf's also growing roots. I would say both were successful for me. Both methods worked really well, so give them both a shot. If you go 50-50 and see what happens. Next I have a happy bean, and surprise surprise, it's another succulent. I've realized that I'm not good with succulents because I tend to overlove my plants with water. I'm trying to rescue this one and we'll see what happens. So far so good. I did have 4 different cuttings from 2 plants that I had. This is the one that is still with me, is still hanging in there and doing a lot better than it did a few days ago. It's a lot more greener, a lot more full, so I'm excited to see if that one pulls through. Another one that I have in my propagation box is a cutting from a Rhapidophora tetrasperma. There's like 3 different pronunciations for this plant, so that's how I call it. This was just a little piece of a stem that I took off of a mother plant with a node. I stuck it in the soil, waited to see if it was going to do anything for me. It took a long time until, you guessed it, put it in the propagation box, and it just started pushing out new growth and thriving. So this was the first leaf. This is the second leaf that's obviously a lot bigger and also has a fenestration in it, so that's pretty neat. There's another growth point, so I'll be interested to see what happens there. If another leaf comes out of there, that would be fantastic. And then there's already new growth coming out from the one that has fenestration. So another plant that is successfully thriving in the propagation box. And let me add this to my success stories. So this is a cutting that I removed from a snake plant mother that still had roots on it, so that was helpful because I was able to just put it into soil. But this leaf is quite dry. I was worried that it wasn't going to pull through because it just looked very dry, but the roots were intact and looked good. So now I have a little snake plant in there. It came out with new growth. It took a long time, and I mean long time, to see any progress with this guy. I actually ended up taking it out of the soil and just to inspect it. And I found that this little guy was in there, it just was obviously lower in the pot. So I decided to just repot it and bring it up a bit more just because I didn't want it to rot or get damaged while I was trying to reach for the top there. So super happy with that one. If you can tell, there's a theme. I'm super happy, super excited. And last but not least, this is kind of random, I must say, but I guess my advice here, if there's any plant that you have that you feel just needs some extra help pushing out new growth, I would recommend putting it in the propagation box that you have. This is a golden pothos and it has a bunch of cuttings, and it was doing well, slowly but surely. And then once I put it in my propagation box, it started pushing out a bunch of new leaves and is doing really well. I'm probably gonna leave it in there a little longer because I do see a few more new leaves growing. So just to kind of help it out a bit more, and then I'll probably take it out of the box. But another tip, just in case you feel impatient and want to see a little bit more progress. Putting it in the propagation box is always a good idea, and it's helped me help my plants, which is good. So that is my propagation box, and I hope it helped you, inspired you to start growing some little baby versions of your plants. And you know, putting together a propagation box, it could be, you know, inexpensive. It could be under $10. So it is an alternative if you do need a little bit more humidity for your plants and you're wanting to grow some from plants that you already have. If you have any other tips and tricks, leave them down below. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.